Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the FitFam podcast. This is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And this is the Formulator, Douglas.
That's better. All right. So this week we wanted to talk about some of the things that, keep us extra motivated. And, most important things, your health identity trait, that thing that just drives you. I want to be healthy. I want to, whatever that is. We've talked about it. Go back to a previous episode if you want to learn how to create it. But I think for us, and, maybe it's not true for everyone, but for us, because we're looking at research each day or we're around a lot of fit, healthy people and different things like that, we have this ongoing extra little motivation. And so we thought it would be cool to maybe talk about some of the studies and different things that hopefully maybe motivate you a little bit more, inspire you a little bit more to work on your fitness.
I love it. So when we talk about fitness, we're talking about focused, intense thought, nutrition, exercise, and specific supplementation. And what's great about having the fitness acronym is that we can constantly come back to that. If for some reason I'm not feeling my best, right, or Doug's not feeling his best, we go back to the fitness acronym and we say, okay, is my mind right? Am I feeding my mind properly? And I'm not just talking about nutrition, but am I feeding it with positivity, and am I, getting the sunshine that I need, and really having, a healthy mindset? Am I goal driven? Do I know what I'm working for right now? So we always come back to the fitness acronym. So we hit, focused, intense thought. And if that feels right, then, we hit nutrition. Am I eating the way I'm supposed to? Am I getting everything in that I'm supposed to? Am I having too much junk right now? Am I not meeting, the specific macronutrients that I need for the goals that I've set for myself? And then exercise, of course, we hit that. And then our supplements.
Absolutely.
So it's always nice to be able to come back to fitness if for some reason you're feeling out of balance with your health.
Yeah, and that's a great way to look at it. Is we always, when we have clients and they're, working to meet their goals and something's off or they're not feeling it. In fact, every week we have a check-in. Our clients, every week, we do a check-in with them and they go through the fitness acronym and give us a rating 1 to 9 of how that week went. Anything that gets in, 6 or below, or even 7 sometimes, okay, stop. Let's talk about it. Why was that a 6 this week or whatever it might be, and find out where that is, because fitness, that holistic approach really fixes everything if you can work to dial each of those in. So that's what we're talking about today. And what spurred this was a couple studies, one out of Harvard, main one, and published the study talking about the importance of exercise. And so the fitness acronym, mindset, nutrition, exercise, supplementation. But today's podcast is really about the mindset, focus, intense thought for each of them. And I actually want to jump down and start with the E, just because the study was so cool. Is that okay?
Sure.
And so what it was is let me set the kind of like the background here a little bit, the backstory. On average now in America, our lifespan is 77 years on average. Okay. And by the way, that's gone down in the last few years. But other places around the world, it's different. So like Japan is 10 years more.
Wow.
Right. And so 87. And you have to look at these things, say, wait, we have the most technology. We have all these advances in medicine and all this stuff.
And access to information.
Oh, gosh, big time. Then why in the world, one, is our lifespan only 77? And why is it, 10 years, less than Japan? And so the answers, we know what they are, but this new study that came out really was talking about exercise and how as a society today, especially in America, we don't get enough focused exercise. And I think we're going to talk about that because we have friends and stuff that have jobs that maybe are, tough. It takes work, physical.
Yeah. So when we're talking about exercise, we're talking about something that takes you out of your daily routine. Okay. It needs to be an exertion on the body that is outside of your, 8 to 5 job. So even though, and that's for the most part, I'm sure there are some exceptions out there, but even for like somebody that does construction or they're in labor, it's different when you're in your work zone. You need to be taken out of that. So everybody needs exercise outside of their
Absolutely. And for a couple reasons. One is balance. So we have a lot of times in occupational work and exercise to where we'll take people and they do the same thing over and over again, and they create an imbalance. Every muscle,
that's a great point.
Muscle you're working is the agonist, the opposite is the antagonist. You have that balance. And so we work with a lot of people like they do the same thing over again. Even basketball in the NBA, we would work in the weight room, not just the muscles we wanted for that sport, but the opposite to keep balance in the body. So everyone needs to exercise, especially with weights. But the study was talking about intense exercise. So this was a long-term study. They did it and they said people that will do intense exercise, right, for an average of 45 minutes a day, then they got these huge benefits. So 45 minutes a day, and in all reality, most Americans don't even get close to that, right? And
right.
So here's what they found. I'm going to need you to get your calculator out a little bit here for this. Okay.
Let's do it.
So for every hour, so 45 minutes, but we're going to make it an hour to say you do a little extra. For every hour of intense exercise, that means you're getting after it, right? Not just a walk thing, but we're talking about intense exercise. You increase your lifespan 3 hours. Okay. So let's play with that for a minute. So let's do, so an hour a day. So 3 hours.
Okay.
And so 3 hours a day, we're improving. Right? We're increasing. So let's just go back to the hour a day thing. So 7 days a week. So let's say times 52
so
weeks in a year.
7 days a week, getting an hour of intense exercise. That's 420.
Right. Okay. So 420
minutes.
420 minutes. Okay. And so we're getting 420 minutes of exercise a week, right?
Right.
And so we're going to take that and we're going to say, okay, we're going to times that by 3. And so we're actually getting, right,
Why
3 times that.
3?
We get 3 times that benefit as far as the years of life that we get extra, that we live. Okay. And so 1,260 minutes and 1,260 minutes, basically a week. Okay. So divide that into 60 minutes in an hour. So boom. So we have, how much time do we have? So we have 1,260 minutes, right, that we're getting every week that we spend an hour, we're getting 1,200, minutes a week of extra life. And so let's kind of extrapolate that out. The bottom line is what we're looking at is that if we look at a year, we're getting 1,095 hours, right, of additional life. Okay. So life expectancy, if we average an hour a day of work, that's 45 days extra a year. Okay. So 45 days, think about that. And we were talking about this. So if I just committed to 1 hour a day of intense exercise every day, I'm going to get an extra 45 days of life. And does that mean that it's because my life would be shortened or I get additional life? We basically are getting that much more benefit or chance that we're going to live a longer, healthier life. So 45 days worth. And what does that mean to you? And I know that we talk a lot about Ed Mylett and others that talk about, hey, if you can have that 1 more minute with somebody and there's a lot of truth to that. We all think that. We both have parents that we've lost and we think about that.
Yeah, it's easy to think 45 days, what's the big deal? It's just 45 more days. Well, I would give pretty much anything to have another 2 minutes to sit and talk with my dad who passed away. So, and not just that, not just thinking about the people that we've lost, but what about those people that love us? What will they or would they give to have an extra day? And I guarantee everybody in your life would give just about anything when you're at the end of your life to have just 1 more day. So 45 days sounds pretty significant to me. And if you do that for many years, right, we're talking about actual years that you can add on to your life.
Absolutely. And so that's with an hour of exercise. And here's what was cool about the study is the study now said, but if you also not additional time exercising, but within that day, you don't drink alcohol, you don't have fried foods, right? And you stay away from as much processed foods as you can. So it doesn't mean 100%, but basically if you eat a clean diet on top of that hour of exercise, it doubles the life expectancy
Wow.
benefits.
Wow. So we're talking in a year instead of 45, we're talking 90 days?
Yeah, so 3 months.
Wow.
So 3 months every year you get to add to your life by exercising an hour a day and eating clean.
Wow.
And so you can see how the 77-year lifespan in America compared to the 87 in Japan, and they're not perfect, but overall as a society, they exercise and move more, right? And they eat a cleaner diet. And I know that now that fast food and processed foods really making its way in there, and it's only places like Okinawa and a few of these areas that you're still getting a lot of that benefit. But that's a huge, significant number. So the idea of today's podcast is to try to help inspire, motivate you more based on some of the data, some of the research, to follow fitness. So with exercise, come on, think about it. Nutrition, between those two, to get that extra 3 months a year, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
So hopefully that inspires you a little bit. Okay. So let's jump to a few of the other studies really quick. Since we're on nutrition, right?
Okay. A decade-long research study published in a leading medical journal.
JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association.
Revealed that individuals who consistently maintained a balanced diet meaning a diet that was rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, not only experienced a 40% reduction in chronic disease, but also enjoy a 20% increase in overall life satisfaction.
And that's not talked about enough.
It's not talked about enough. You know, it's funny when you talk about longevity and living longer. I know plenty of people that would say, I don't want to live that long, you know, and
they think about that most people live that long with pain.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're talking about living longer, better, living longer, happier, living longer and being satisfied. So,
and being more present and enjoying life, right? So we have two great examples. This last week, we had this lady that ever since we've lived here. So since when did we move to 3? So what, 20 years? 20 years ago. This lady, and I'm sure it was longer, we'll see out walking. She walks every day.
Every day.
And 3 miles.
I think so.
3 miles a day.
I think so.
And we see her, and so we talked to her, and a really nice lady, and she knew my parents. And she's 90.
I can't remember if she's 93 or 96. I think she's 93.
93. And just bright, talk, you know, have conversations, memory, everything great. Healthy, lean, you know, out walking.
And remember, something, you know, to associate with her, intensity for her looks different than intensity for me, right? She's much older. And so intensity for her could be a walk.
More of a brisk walk.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's one. Also, we just got back from a large conference of trainers from all over the world, a world conference. And we met one of my idol's wives, Jack LaLanne's wife, who was 98.
No, she's not 90. She's like early 90s, I think.
No, I promise. 97 or 98. I promise. You have to look it up.
Okay.
And she was phenomenal. She
was, whether she was 92 or 98, she was phenomenal.
You just look it up. And so had conversations. In fact, I told her, I said, I was at your husband's 85th birthday party where he came out and got mad because they did cake.
How old did you say?
And I said, it was 95 or 97.
You did not just
did I say that? What is it?
She's 96.
96. 96 years of age. And I said, hey, I was at your husband's 85th birthday. And he came out and popped out 20 pull-ups and was mad that they did the cake and everything. And she's so cute. He never got mad. She's already still defending him. And he finally
She had it together.
But she told me, nope, it was this. And I said, well, he pulled those 70 bolts. Well, that wasn't that time. He pulled the 70 bolts at this date.
See that? I don't know.
And then
see that, but that's
her.
That's her. That's crazy. It was
so awesome.
It was wild.
It was a great experience. Man, it was a bucket list for me. It just made my heart so full. But the point being is the quality of life. And that's what that study showed, that your quality of life improves no matter how long. Because you'll see people in our industry or, you know, out there, naysayers saying, oh, but this person lived healthy. And look what happened to them because something happened. You know, some crazy thing happened. They had a heart attack or they died early or something. So see, that's why we shouldn't eat healthy. look, the
There are
research,
always exceptions.
there's always
to the
exception,
rule.
but the data gives your greatest chance. And so, yes, 40% reduction in chronic diseases, but an increase in life enjoyment, right? So we're to have joy, and super good. Another study. It was on exercise again, 10,000 people. And they showed there was, and we talk about exercise and muscle and fat loss and stuff, but this one was really different.
This one was different. And what's cool about this one is it was talking about a lower incidence of depression by 30%.
And anxiety.
Yeah. Which, is so huge. It's so huge.
Mental well-being, emotional resilience, all of those things is not talked about enough because it takes away from joy. It takes away from being present in life when we have mental concerns and issues. And that one, it was just huge.
Yeah, that's huge. And I don't think we discuss that often enough. I know that I've said it time and time again that the gym has saved me in so many ways. And one of the ways that I believe that it saved me, because I do come from a family that suffers with depression and anxiety, is that for me, it cures me of those ailments, and it has for years. So the gym is the absolute best place to
help your mental health. Yeah, and in that study specifically, I remember reading the study, and they were really focusing in on the words emotional resilience in the study. I like that. And what that really makes, I'm like, what are they talking about from the study? What they talked about is the ability to have situations happen and you be resilient and have them not affect you in a negative way, that you can push through them, that you can still be active, that you can feel them
and still move forward. I think sometimes that's where people get confused, is that they're thinking maybe we're saying, you just gotta push through it and not acknowledge it. No, this is talking about being able to acknowledge an issue and still moving through it and, finding joy elsewhere or through it. So
yeah, just like the great philosopher Sly Stallone talked about, right? Pushing through, getting up.
No? This is what I live with.
That was an awesome one. Rocket 4, by the way. Okay. Let's talk about another one that individuals that took multivitamins. So back to supplements. Remember, focus, intense thought, nutrition, exercise, supplementation.
Okay.
And we talk about supplementation, to help and be able to get it so that your body just has everything it needs to perform, and maybe body fat loss and stuff. But really, one of the biggest factors of taking your vitamins is immunity.
Yep, for sure. So this one is all about immune system function, 25% improvement, leading to fewer sick days and enhanced protection against seasonal illnesses.
And that's just taking a multivitamin. That's not even like dialing it in, getting your blood work done like we recommend.
Yeah.
Right. And you're really dialing it at the highest level and really upping. We're talking just a multivitamin, a good whole food multivitamin, 25% improvement in your immune system function. That's huge.
Yeah, no, that is huge. And I think something that we like to point out for most people, which is kind of funny because we do own a supplement company and we do formulate, is that your supplements should be the cherry on top. They should just be the thing that puts your health, over the edge, and
optimal health.
It should give you that optimal health, because if you live properly, if you eat properly, if you exercise properly, if you get positive influence mentally, then really you should be hitting most of the markers. And so the cherry on top is your supplementation.
Absolutely. And there's 2 more studies with that I think might just be good, because we talk about it again for so many different reasons of supplementation. But since we're just talking about some of the things that aren't talked about a lot, immunity, one of them, 2 separate studies, though, that also talked about mental health, because we're talking about mental health with exercise. Maybe that can kind of be our theme here, is that 2 studies. One study was done with prisoners, and this one was really interesting because you really can see what happens with people when they're in prison. They're already going to be mentally having issues and things, and their away family. But the food that's fed in prison is the worst on the planet. The boxes themselves
often say not for human consumption.
Absolutely, on the meats and things like that. So it's bad. But they did this study. And they gave prisoners a multivitamin compared to others that didn't. And they seen a dramatic improvement in their mental focus, their joy, their lack of disrupting, right? Not getting less fights and being able to focus. Their families had noticed a marked improvement of their communication, all from a multivitamin. So really just the overall being able to function and brain function so that you can make good decisions. And the other study was done with children showing that it increased their body's ability for their brain, like fatty acids, probiotics, vitamin D, and that for their brain to develop properly so that they were more emotionally stable going through the process of childhood. So for men and women, older, and for the youth, taking a good multivitamin just from the standpoint of immunity and mental function, and that is really huge.
Love it.
All right. So let's kind of finish up here and keep going. One of the things that was interesting is there was a comprehensive study that was done on a little bit of everything. In other words, engaging in regular exercise that we talked about, eating healthier, supplementing with vitamins. And I think it's kind of like people would know this, but there was a huge reduction in the number one thing that's the number one killer today and takes away our quality of life.
Yeah. So a 50% decrease in the risk of heart disease in those people that lived a balanced, healthy life.
Followed fitness. Right. So 50%. So the number one reason, the number one condition that's going to take the highest risk for us to take us out early and to lower our quality of life, even if we don't die from it, is heart disease. Number one, men and women across the board. Okay. And we can have a 50% reduction, right, of risk of getting the number one killer, number one lowering quality of life disease by just eating a little healthier, exercising consistently, and taking our vitamins. So really, that's kind of a great way to show that that factor. And
love it.
And so a little story. Finish up.
Yep.
Okay, here it is. We talked about that hour, right? If you give an hour of exercise, and it brought me back to us knowing about this from some original studies way back in the 90s. And I based a lot of my sales pitch off of this.
Okay.
And so the owner of the Phoenix Suns, owner of the Phoenix Suns, Arizona Diamondbacks, right? Mercury, all of that, Jerry Colangelo.
Okay.
And Jerry Colangelo, busy man, right? Running all those companies and stuff. And I was talking to him, doing his nutrition. We got his nutrition under control a little bit. Italian, so we do the best we can. What do they call cannolis? He was trying to get those out. But anyways, lowered cholesterol, everything healthier. But I knew we needed to get more consistent with exercise. And he said he didn't have enough time to be super consistent, even though we had his own gym right there at the arena. So I said, look, if you give me, at the time, it was only 45 minutes, but 45 minutes a day, right? 45 minutes a day. 3 days a week, then I promise you'll at least double that amount back in productivity. And if not, I'll work for free. And I couldn't afford to work for free. But we knew that was what was going to happen if you'd truly do it, and you would use data, and he was very data driven. And so he committed to it, trained him 3 times a week. And then his assistant called me in one time and said, Jerry did not improve his productivity twice as much. He wants to talk to you. And they had it all planned, joking. So I'm sweating it. I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to explain this? And lose my job or have to work for free, not just lose it. And he says, you didn't do that. You didn't give me an extra hour. It was actually right at 2 point something. He had it figured, detailed of additional productivity because of waking up earlier and being more productive at the office, not starting to take a nap in the afternoon, didn't have to anymore. And so we knew this even back in the 90s. And people that are extremely productive, if they just improve their nutrition, their exercise, supplementation, they really know it, because it's like a fine-tuned car. You know when you have good gas or bad gas,
There's
right?
No doubt.
And,
No doubt.
So super important to understand that. And I think that we're finding out that the majority of the clients that we train one-on-one now, the couples that we work with, seem to be more along the lines that they're healthy, but they're wanting to go to the next level, and they know the difference if they dialed in a little bit more. That increased productivity, it means the world to them.
It does.
Okay? And so we recommend, bottom line is, hopefully you know that mindset, nutrition, exercise, and supplementation is important. It's critical. The research shows it. The data's there. It'll improve the quality of your life. And let's kind of give some real things that they can do to
Well,
finish.
I think if you're ever feeling not up to par, if you're like going, something's off, then hitting that fitness acronym and really going through and being like, okay, which of these things am I falling a little bit short on? And addressing that, I think that's huge. I love the concept of having a baseline. I can always go back to here and look at how I'm doing. But as far as real life things to implement, here it goes. For me, I think it is, now I probably get more exercise than the average person, but commit to what you can do and will do. Do not, for most people, trying to bite off more than they can chew is a big, big issue. You know, they say, I see how important exercise is. That's it. I heard Doug, I'm going to do an hour of intense exercise every day. And after 3 days, they've had it. It's too much. They can't maintain it. So start off with what you can do. Start off 3 days a week, 30 minutes. If that's what you can do. And once you've maintained that for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, all of a sudden you're like, time to kick it in a little bit more. So I would say, do what you know you can do and commit to that. And then once you have, you can increase it, and then you can kind of find the time in other areas.
That's a great way to look at it. So what kind of help can you get to help to do these things? Really, we recommend, for us, we're going to give you options that we have to help you, but you can go out and get them anywhere. I really want, we talk about sales pitch and that type thing. Sales pitch is to be healthy and to do things to be healthier, to enjoy life more, to be here longer, care about your loved ones wanting you here, not just the opposite of that, which is great too. But so the ultimate plan is we work with high level couples that really are wanting to dial things in. And it's not the cheapest program in the world. It's really for those that are ready to do everything. What's called concierge health program. And we take them on. And we got most people, that's not going to be where they go. But then you can get with programs like that we have or others to where it's more manageable. It's like $500 a month, but it covers everything, all their exercise, their nutrition, their supplements, their blood work, things like that. And those programs are out there, and they're things that we're putting together right now for people so that they can have that. But gosh, at a minimum, you can call up Optimal Health Systems and have the Optimal Health Trainer Program, where you get a trainer working with your nutrition and exercise committed to you online and give you an app to work out and do all that for $150 a month.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
I think, and that is crazy for the value that you get. But I think the point of that is it may be something that you want forever, because the accountability is oftentimes what is lacking. It's not so much that you can't find the time; it's that you don't have somebody that is holding you accountable to what you're supposed to do. So the accountability that comes with Optimal Health Trainer, OHT, is the best. But for a lot of people, it's not something that you need forever. It's something that you need for the next 3 to 6 months until you are able to become accountable again and you have a routine. Now you know what exercises you can do or should do, because a trainer has prepared that for you.
Absolutely. So look, commit to at least, I say 4 months. Just say, look, for 4 months, I'm going to learn about nutrition. I'm going to get my exercise under control. I'm going to have a trainer lay it out for me, teach me, and do all that. And, I'm out $600 to basically go to school and have an accountability coach for the most important things you can do. They'll help you with your health identity trait. They'll work with your nutrition, macros, whatever it is, give you your diet and exercise. And they work with you in real time through their app. So it's like, come on. For reals, everyone on the planet should do that. And like Hilary said, you might get to a point where you don't need one ever again. And
also to be able to afford that, for some people, it means, okay, now I'm cutting out eating out for the next 3 to 6 months while I hire this trainer.
Or as much.
And
right.
and then you make up that money that you're paying for the trainer by not going out to eat. So even if there does have to be a sacrifice, it is definitely worth it to be able to have the foundation for a future healthy lifestyle.
The definition of sacrifice, a good way to end today. And the definition of sacrifice really is giving up something for something better. Yeah. And you're doing that, making a little sacrifice now, giving up something for something better, that level of health for your loved ones, for yourself. And so again, fitness is the way to go. Take a look at your life, see which area may be your weak spot, your mindset, nutrition, exercise, or supplementation. Dial them in. The research is strong showing that. We have programs to help you. There's other programs out there from other companies and people. Go to your local gym, do whatever it takes. Just work on your fitness so you can have improved life and increased joy. We appreciate you guys so much.
Till next time, this is Doug the Formulator.
And Hilary, Miss Natural Olympia.
Thanks for joining us.